Hello and welcome everyone to why and how Hitman Series has kept the stealth genre alive. Before we dive into our main topic, let us first understand what is actually stealth genre and how is it really dying. Stealth simply means avoiding detection by taking extreme caution. I know I don't have to tell you guys what stealth means, but I just have to do it for the sake of the video. Stealth has a very deep root in our gaming history and has been a very essential part of our gaming culture. I hope you guys remember a 2D platform game called Lode Runner, which we all used to love and play on TV with a big cassette video game, where the main goal of our hero was to collect all the sugar bombs and lure and trap enemies while digging hole. Up till now, stealth has evolved drastically. Though stealth majorly has been present from 1980s in games like Pac-Man, Lupin III, Castle Wolfenstein, Metal Gear, etc. It got its major mainstream success in 1998 with Thankyou Stealth Assassins, Metal Gear Solid and Thief Dark Project, and they were later followed by huge successful series like Hitman and Splinter Cell. We can even say that before the year 1998, stealth was not even considered as a genre and was incorporated in games as a part of essential mechanics unknowingly. It was later in 1998 where stealth got its proper recognition as a separate gameplay style and a genre. Titles like Metal Gear Solid, Thankyou, 005, Thief, Hitman and Splinter Cell, of course Deus Ex Human Revolution, got extremely popular and earned the title of so-called AAA gaming. They were huge commercial as well as huge critical success. I bet my fellow comrades from 90s will understand what I'm trying to convey here. Even games like Call of Duty and Battlefield had some missions which utilized hard-core stealth mechanics. So despite achieving such glory and success, why and how it got to a point where people considered stealth as a slowly dying genre? Well, explanation is clear and simple, but I want to elaborate from certain angles. But before we get further deep into the topic, I want to make it clear that stealth has always had a very specific and loyal fan base, specifically the ones from the 90s, and this topic is coming from the perspective of an individual who has been from 90s until now is a very loyal fan of this genre. Why I'm telling this is because my deduction might upset some people, but all I want to convey to those people is to better understand these points rather than make assumptions because of your sentiments. So let's begin in a very systematic manner as to why stealth genre is considered to be slowly dying. First, stealth, and by stealth I mean hardcore stealth, not the game that utilizes some of the stealth mechanics and make it as a joke. Stealth is not everybody's cake. As I've told earlier, it has a very specific and a very loyal audience. Now people might be thinking that every game has a specific fan base. Yes, they do have, and I agree with that 100%. What I want to say is that today pretty much every RPG or action game that lets you at least try sneaking around, and it's been that way for a very long time. A game that's all about hiding in the shadows just don't drive interest in people these days. For example, Assassin's Creed, where stealth is a part but is not the main focus. I'm gonna be a bit harsh here guys, because stealth part in those games is a joke. Please don't get upset, just hear me out. Assassin's Creed has various other elements into it that are very well done, but to call it a stealth game will be a hypocritical lie. Many other games like Ghost of Tsushima also has stealth elements which are very well done, but what I want to say is that there's so much going on in these games that stealth takes a back seat, and it is very much underutilized in these games. Action adventure genre is very fun and easygoing. I love Tomb Raider and Prince of Persia series. But games where stealth takes a priority requires high level of skills like patience, understanding, strategic planning and execution. You can try to be aggressive in such games, but that will not help you achieve the standard that these games desire from your play style. For example, you can play Hitman or Dishonored series in a very aggressive brutal style, which will be fun, but you will be able to complete the missions in a very easy manner. And like I said, if you want to play a game with its standard and demand, you have to challenge yourself through the difficulties that these games or these genre wants it from you. Sorry fellas, but now I'm gonna touch on the topic which might upset most of the people of this generation. Streaming has gained huge success and popularity with platforms like Twitch and YouTube. The games which have highest popularity on streaming are mostly multiplayer games. It's not like other genres are not attended, but mostly it's multiplayer games. I don't want to call out the names because all of you, my friend here, already know. In the era of esports and competitive gaming, the demand has shifted, and so is the concept of introduction. Every new streamer or the content creator wants to achieve success fast. And who doesn't? But because of this approach, the priorities have shifted towards the demand rather than the interest. Multiplayer games were present before also, but today this genre has changed everything. Now everyone loves to kill with a gun or any weapon. These games have a very linear, easygoing playstyle. I know I'm gonna upset those skilled egoistic players out there, but this comment is not for everyone, so please don't mind, guys. In my experience with these multiplayer games, I've seen people dwelling into their egos, especially in the PvP genre, where killing a real player requires a deep skill. I know it's not easy and skill is definitely a part, but you cannot also deny the fact that skill is directly proportional to your interest or competition. This part of the video is specifically for those egoistic people or the players who think getting good in the PvP genre is the only place where real skill is required, and they bash and neglect certain genres which they don't play, or to be specific, they don't know how to play. So one could even say that if you're not playing or not able to play a particular genre is only because you have no interest in that. As I said before, skill is directly proportional to the interest. The more interested you are, the more better you get at it. So if a person who loves to play multiplayer and doesn't care about stealth or the other genre, then you can say that this person or the player has skill in multiplayer but no skill in the genre which doesn't interest him. It can be vice versa also. So one should learn to accept the reality of where its talent lies. And I can also conclude by saying that if you have no interest in a particular field, you cannot hone your skill in that field and you will give yourself a burden. Multiplayer games, despite being below its standard in these days, specifically newly released Battlefield 2042, people have given themselves an egoistic approach in gaining competitive skill. Because of such change or shift in the attitude towards gaming, stealth, which also requires skills, has taken a back seat. Stealth games always give freedom of approach, and that's where today's generation loses the grasp, because they want to be spoon-fed every step instead of utilizing their brain with patience and planning. Hardcore stealth games like Hitman, Thief, Dishonored, Metal Gear Solid, and many more are nowhere easy, but that doesn't mean they're not very fun to play. You only need to change your mindset for these games. Or, in other words, should I say, you need to develop the skills required to play these games. I've talked so much, but I thought it as my duty because I just couldn't bear the fact that my favorite genre is dying. But I also got relieved once I read this article where it says Hitman is the game that saved the stealth genre from dying. So I decided to do some research that I wanted to share it with you guys. So here it is. Now exactly how Hitman series saved the genre from dying, here are some points that will make it very clear to you guys. With top pioneers of stealth like Metal Gear Solid becoming nearly unrecognizable and Splinter Cell taking an extended vacation, there are very few options when it comes to playing AAA sneaking games. Thankfully, we have Hitman series to fill that void. 2016 saw the franchise's return in a very big way with episodic Hitman. This game also became Game of the Year that year, and with it started its new journey, with other two parts being released in 2018 and 21, becoming a huge critical as well as huge commercial success. Where every other game implemented sneaking in a very boring way, Hitman did it entirely different. This also proves that as a creator you need to take risks and give audience what they haven't seen. I'm looking at you all the streamers. While every other stealth game saw its decline after some time, Hitman has survived and will continue its legacy for one simple reason: it's different, and there are the certain points that will prove why it's different. Typical creep around, don't get caught stealth has been done to death in almost every other game, but there is no other game like Hitman which utilizes social stealth.
So, you must know everything that goes on at the event. Care to give me the lowdown?
Let's see. Most of the guests have already arrived, and let me tell you, it's like a Forbes 500 convention in there. Most are high-profile clients of Morgan, Yates, and Paul. But the Yates...
Other games dabble in disguises, but Hitman just nails it.
Aladdin.
Huh. Somehow I thought it'd be bigger. Come on, Flowers. Guests are waiting.
While it's not open world, but each level is big enough to give you a unique feel. Apart from including hardcore stealth, it also does certain other elements that fit in extremely well. Like intricate puzzles, some are very easy, but other can be extremely difficult. Intricate stories involving the NPCs.
I'll die without them.
I found them.
You are a lifesaver. Thank you. Hey, look, if you want to get into the club, I can get you in for free. You know, you look like a man who needs to let off a little steam.
I accept.
And how can we not talk about the game design, which has always been rewarded each time the game is released or a sequel is released. There's also such a high ceiling of knowledge, and you feel like every time you replay a level, you learn something new. And now an honorable mention to these games which also helped maintain and revive the stealth genre all these years. These are Dishonored series, Styx series, and a highly acclaimed indie stealth game which was a pleasant surprise. Its name is A Plague Tale Innocence, which is also getting a sequel released next year. And all the other stealth games which anyway somehow helped and maintain and revive the stealth genre for all these long years. So my fellow stealth lovers, let's help creators to push all the limits of the stealth and get it all its glory which it deserves. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if somehow I hurt someone's sentiment, then I'm really sorry for that and I apologize. Please stay tuned for the another upload. Thank you guys for watching the video.